Hi, you're welcome to Johnson Praise TV. This is your digital classroom. This video is all about Soci 112 exams Pasco review or Soci 112 examination Pasco review. When we talk about Soci 112, we are talking about diversity of peoples and cultures. And I'm going to release three set of videos on sociology, that's Soci 112, which will help you understand the whole course and also know how to tackle simple questions. Okay, sociology is all about strategy. If you want to pass or make A in your sociology, you need to follow people who have really passed through the channel before. Okay, and that's why I'm here to guide you. And I'll drop a link under the comment section. Please make sure you're clicking. When you tap on it, it will send you to my WhatsApp channel where you get access to all my video links. Of late, I hardly post my links on the various platforms because of time factor. So I only drop them on my channel. So when you click, you follow us and get regular update. If you have also not follow me on what's on YouTube here, if you still be benefiting and you are not subscribing, somebody has been spending like 8 hours to prepare questions and just to follow the person if you are still not following, because the statistics I'm getting is that it's only 30% of those 30% of my viewers are following me. Means that the greater majority, 70% of you come and watch and you go scot free. You don't follow us, you don't subscribe. Please, it's not a good habit, because if I'm to tell you, it will surprise if I tell you even I don't make a penny from the videos I do, you won't even believe me. But I'm doing it because of the love I have for you guys. And I want to take this opportunity to thank one of your colleagues, that is in the person of Ebenezer Winnie. He has been very, very supportive since last semester. He has been supporting me each and every way that he can with this channel. He has been supporting this channel for the work that you are doing. And he is one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, because your colleagues in other levels are also putting pressure on me. So you see me releasing videos on level 200 and level other levels, right? But he's also trying to get us to do some of these videos for you. And then also one of your colleagues, that's Doris also did well. Wherever you are, Doris, wherever you are, thank you, God bless you. One thing I want you to understand is that this video I'm going to discuss 6 questions, and that 6 questions I'll tell you the one that is most likely to come, right? So make sure you watch it to an end, and it is going to help you. I don't want you to just make only A's here. I want this channel to be a place where you make A's and also you get job opportunities, right? So if you are with an agency that wants to employ people, or you have any work opportunity somewhere, you can reach out to me. When you reach out to me, I'll post the information on my WhatsApp channel. Those that are interested, I'm going to make sure I get you the right people, right? So please just reach out to me and let us be of help to each other, like the way I'm also being of help to you. Your brother somewhere need money to pay his school fees. When you give him that opportunity, he may be able to do that. So that is what initiative I'm actually bringing on board. It may not be only work opportunities. Sometimes I do visit these children's home. Okay, I visited one children home at Medina, which I went to do some donations. You can probably anything that you have a foundation, that's Johnson Praise Foundation. When you reach out to Johnson Praise Foundation, we'll be able to go and do donations to these children home, and I think everything is going to be all right. Please, the last thing I'm talking about is that currently we have processed about 10 visas, okay, to our clients who are going to Kuwait. Okay, so those of you who are brothers and sisters who want to go to places like Kuwait, Germany, and Luxembourg, right? You can reach out to me. The visas are available. If you want, I can show you the evidence. If you want to know the work we have done, nobody is going to scam you. So that is just by the way. Please make sure you share this video on your various platforms for your brothers to benefit, because I'm not on all your platforms. Right, let's now look at the questions here. Okay, so question 1, it says discuss the differences between social organization of what of horticultural and agricultural societies as adaptive strategy. So all the questions, I'll read the questions and then we solve them. Okay, so let's look at question 1. discuss the differences between what the social organization of what horticultural and agricultural societies as adaptive strategy. So a question on adaptive strategy is likely to drop, and it's either you are giving to give the differences or similarities between horticulture or agriculture. All right, maybe they may ask you to talk about what industrialization, either industrialization and foraging. So you should be able to what know these things and see how you can answer. So let's look at the horticultural society. The horticultural society is what? There is what? A small scale what? Production. The horticultural society, there's what? Small scale food production. So the horticultural societies focus on small scale farming using what? Simple tools like digging sticks and what? And hoes. For example, Yanoma what? Yanomami, okay, Yanomami people in the Amazon practice slash and burn agriculture, where they would declare all the patches of the forest to grow crops like banana, cassava, and maize. This method is less labor intensive and does not does not rely on advanced technology or capital. So let me give you tips for answering sociology question. Sociology questions, the lecturer prefer that you read and understand the slides. Okay, so if you are writing from the slides, it is preferable. Okay, so if you can keep it in your mind and write from the slides, is preferable. That's one of the ways you can make A in sociology. Two, use sociological terms. When I say you should use sociological terms, and when you are reading some things like adaptive strategy, you don't go and use some of these normal words, right? Use the sociological terms, and that will make it different from English, because when you write just a normal English, it's what they don't really value that, because everybody can write. But when you use the sociological terms, it means you understand the things you are writing about. When you are talking about nomadism, pastoralism, and some of these things in your essays, the use of key concepts in academic writing, you understand, right? And this also tells you that I've released a video already on UGBS studies. So those of you doing computing, 2 videos already, so you can check it out. Okay, so one of the features of horticultural communities is that they produce what? Less food. Okay, those places they use hoes. Okay, and then this digging, they use the hoes, the sticks, the cutlass to weed, so they can produce food in quantity. Okay, so in the horticultural society, they produce foods. They produce small scale food. They produce what? Small scale food, right? Or the food that they produce there is very what? It's not much. Okay, secondly, there's also shifting cultivation. These societies often practice shifting cultivation, where fields are used for a few years and then left fallow to what? Recover. So when you talk of shifting cultivation, okay, it's like what? It's like you having 3 different plots. You weed in plot on plot 1, and you plant maize, cassava, and everything. Then when you farm, then the land will what? The fertility, it will lose its fertility. Then you leave land A to land B to go and plant. So that one too, the moment it loses its fertility, you leave land B to land C. So the time you move to land C, the land A will be ready, then you come. So that is where what? You leave it to fallow, right? To recover. You left the fallow to what? To recover. The fallow land. You leave it to recover. So the places like what? Kikuyu people of what? Kenya, for example, traditionally rotate their farming plots every what? Few years, allowing the lands to regain its fertility naturally. So my place will, like when you go to Hafo, these things it is common. Me, I know these things because I am from agricultural community, and these things normally happen there, right? So and that is it. And most in sociology, when you are writing sociology, you see sometimes you have to use practical examples. You see all the things I'm giving you practical examples, right? And if you write, explain it and give practical example, it will help you to make your A. So don't just write like that, and write practical example. I giving you what? The Kikuyu people, Let's move on. Nomadic or semi-nomadic what lifestyle. The second feature of agricultural community is what? It is nomadic or semi-nomadic. When you say nomadic, horticulture, right? When you say something is what nomadic or semi-nomadic, we are trying to talk about something being nomadic means they move from one place to what to another place, right? They move from a place to place. It's like you stay in this village and then they move to what another place. That is what we call the nomadic. And that is also because of their farming methods require new land after a few years. Horticulturalists often move periodically. For instance, at the Kayopo tribe in Brazil relocate their villages every 5 to 10 years to access fresh land for cultivation. So they move from one place to another. So they are mobile, right? Instead of nomadic, you can also talk about mobile, like moving from one place to another place. The second one is that ownership. Communal land ownership. So land in horticultural society is typically owned communally rather than not privately. Among the Ashanti people in Ghana, land is managed by clans, and individual families are granted plots for farming based on what they need. So when it comes to this account here, this is where we do a nobwa, right? Yemienche. When you go to those places, so I have a land I give to you, do your yemienche. So you plant cocoa or cashew, whatever you want to plant. Then when you are done, they will divide it into three. Then I'll take one, I'll take two, me the owner, I'll take two, then you the one who farm on it, you take what? One. So that is two, 1:2. That is the method they use. Okay, so they have the excess land. So when you want, you go there, you farm on it, and then there's a portion that you give to them, or maybe the things that you've planted, you give them some stuff. So it is common. And also we've spoken about, and then last number five is what? Subsistence based economy. So the primary goal of the horticulture is to produce enough food for the community needs. Is to produce enough food for the community needs rather than for trade surplus. Okay, so places like what? The true brand Iceland of what? Papua New Guinea grow yams primarily for their consumption, and any surplus being used in social exchanges rather than for profit. So some of these places they use it for subsistence based economy. They don't produce in excess where they can export or go and sell. No, it is for themselves in their community. So when they plant in excess, they give to other community members to also benefit. Let's look at the agricultural community. So at the agricultural community, this is where there's what? Large scale or intensive cultivation. Unlike the horticulture where they produce in less what? They produce less food. Okay, here they produce in excess. Okay, because what? So let's look at agricultural societies they use advanced tools and technologies for large scale farming. For example, in the United States, farmers use tractors, combine harvesters, and irrigation systems to cultivate vast fields of land. So when you go to United States, they use these machines. Even when you go to place like Soci here, there's one of the major farms in the whole of Africa. Okay, that's what banana farm. Okay, when you go there, they use these big machines. They have one when it comes to one of the biggest banana farm in the whole of Africa. They are part. Okay, so they produce in excess every day. They produce tons of what banana and every time. So this tells you what how the agricultural society produce. Okay, they don't produce for their consumption, but they produce to sell. And also to permanent fields with irrigation. Agriculture often involves permanent fields with irrigation system to ensure consistent water supply. In ancient Egypt, the Nile rivers floodwaters were channeled into fields to grow crops like wheat and what barley and barley year round. So those places they use irrigation system. Place like I mentioned, okay, the golden exotics where they produce this banana, they use irrigation system where they push they channel everything. They channel it from the Volta River, okay, to their farm where like they can produce year round every year. Let's move on. Number three, sedimentary lifestyle and what and larger population. Also, when the opposite of sedimentary is nomadic. So the nomadic where they move. This one is sedimentary. Sedimentary is where they stay at one place. Okay, so agricultural societies typically they are sedimentary with what? With people living in permanent settlements. For example, ancient Mesopotamian cities like uh, Mesopotamian cities like what? All and Babylon were supported by what? Extensive agriculture that fed large urban populations. So those places they stay at one place. They don't move because the land that is their land. You don't have as enough or excess land. So why do you have to go and be chasing? So, but the difference is that the horticultural society, there are enough lands where people can move and farm anyhow. But here, it's easy, difficult to get a land. So when you get one, you make good use of it, and that becomes a permanent place for farming. So let's move on to uh, the next one is what? Production of food surplus. So agriculture allows what? The production of surplus food, which can be stored and used for to transport to support non-farming activities. The Inca Empire in the Southern America developed what? Sophisticated terracing and what? And storage system to produce and preserve surplus maize, potatoes, and what? And quinoa, feeding their large what? Empire. So that is it. And then the last one I want to talk about is called what? Specialized rules and sex and complex sex structure. So in the agricultural society, the surplus form of agriculture support specialization in society. When you talk of specialization, you pick one field and you specialize in it. If it is maize that you are doing, you focus on only maize, right? So in the medieval Europe, surplus grain allowed people to become what? Blacksmith, merchant, leading to a stratified society with a distinct social classes. So when we talk of specialization in agricultural society, people like this, somebody can decide that I want to be a teacher, and that will be the profession you will do alone. But when it go to the other and the horticultural community, there's nothing like what specialization. The person is planting maize, is planting cassava, is planting yam, is doing this, is doing different things. There's nothing like specialization. They do everything. But here, people take one thing and specialize in that. So let's talk. So let me read some quick essay for you, like an essay form. So horticultural and agricultural societies represent two distinct adaptive strategies with significant differences in social organization. Horticulture, often referred to shifting cultivation, involves small-scale food production with minimal use of technology, capital, and labor. Okay, so horticulturalists rely on simple tools like digging, stalks, and hoes, and they cultivate land on temporary basis, allowing fields to lie fallow. And after a couple of harvests, the method results in nomadic or semi nomadic lifestyle where people move practically to the field to find new fields for cultivation. Socially, horticulturalist societies tend to have smaller, more egalitarian communities, often around kinship ties with communal land ownership. The social and political structures are less complex with leadership roles typically being less formalized. So in contrast, I'm done with the horticulture, so I'm going to contrast it. So in contrast, agricultural societies are characterized by permanent and intensive cultivation of land, often with the use of more advanced tools, machinery, and irrigation system. And this leads to production of food surplus, which can be stored for future use. As a result, agricultural societies tend to be more sedimentary, with permanent settlement and larger population. The production of surplus allows for the development of specialized rules within the society, such as artisans, merchants, and political leaders, leading to more complex social stratification. Agricultural societies also develop more formalized and hierarchical political structures, with centralized authority figures who control the labor and resources necessary for large-scale agricultural production. This shift from what horticulture to agriculture represent what continuum where societies transition from less to more intensive cultivation practices, leading to significant change in social organization and development of more complex societal structures. So let's look at number two. So in exams, you are supposed to answer three questions depending on how they give you, but you are to answer three questions for either 2 or 2.5 hours. So number two, how has Emil Durkheim 1915 defined religion? So this definition you must keep it in case they ask you. You should be able to answer it directly. Okay, so Emil Durkheim defined religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. That is to say, things set apart and forbidden. Beliefs and practices which unite one single moral community called a church. All people who adhere to and all people who adhere to them. That's Emil Durkheim, 1915. I'm taking it again. He defined religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. That is to say, things set apart and forbidden. Beliefs and practices which unite one single moral community called a church and all those who adhere to them. That is it. We are done with part one. So the 2B says that of which interest is the study of religion to the anthropologist. So one, social institution. Okay, the anthropologists have interest in religion due because of one, the social institution. So the religion is viewed as a key social institution similar to family, politics, or education. It plays crucial role in shaping the social structure and influencing how individuals and communities organize their lives. So they value religion because it is one of the social institutions. That's the premier. Okay, so religion forms part of the premier. So they study religion because it is part of the social institution. I hope you understand it. Okay, let's move forward. Number two, second point is that social significance. So anthropologists focus on social significance of religion, examine what it does for society and its members. The study of how religion contributes to social cohesion provides more guidelines and shape individual and collective identity. So they look at its social significance of what significance is religion to what is religion to the society. Okay, so they examine it. Religion koraa na ɛwɔ mfasoɔ bɛn na ɛwɔ de ma society. Yes, it brings some form of what stability in the society. Okay, it brings some kind of stability, social cohesion. It provides more moral guidelines to people how they should behave and how they shouldn't behave, and it shape individual identity. Okay, you don't go and change your identity. Okay, religion doesn't correlate or probably actually what condone to those things. Okay, let's look at the third one, cultural insight. So religion offers a window into the cultural values, norms, and worldviews of different societies. So when you talk about anthropologists are interested in sociology because of what it offers some kind of cultural insight, and it opens what it gives it offers a form of what window into the cultural values. Okay, cultural values, okay, and norms, and then the worldviews, how we see things in the society. Okay, how we see things. If somebody is grown, what is our worldview about people who are grown in the society? The younger ones, how do we see them? The educated and the uneducated, how do we see them in the society? There's some kind of view about these people. All right, so that is our worldview. Let's look at the number 4, rituals and symbols. So the religion is important to the anthropologists because of the rituals and symbols. So anthropologists are interested in the rituals and symbols associated with religion, as they often reflect what collective beliefs and values of society. So religious rituals such as ceremonies and rites of passage reinforce social bonds and cultural continuity. And then we look at the last point, which is what cross-cultural comparison. So the study of religions allows anthropologists to compare different societies, identifying both universal patterns and unique cultural expression. This enhances their understanding of human diversity and the way in which religion shapes social life across society. So this, at least if you don't know, I've already explained to you social institutions, the social significance, cultural insight. We have rituals and symbols, and last cross-cultural comparison. Right. Let's look at number 3. You say what? List 3 types of distribution and exchange in as what as economic activity. So these 3 types of what distribution and exchange are: 1, reciprocity; 2, redistribution; and then 3, market exchange. So these things, questions can come. They can ask you to explain them. So please, as we are solving question, I'm also giving you some form of insight. You should be able to know when they ask you about the question can come in the form of reciprocity, redistribution, or market exchange. You should be able, but the good thing is that reciprocity will be explained here for you. So you need to focus on redistribution and market exchange. How is it, and in what way does it, what are its significance, or probably something like that. You need to look at that. So distinguish among the 3 types of reciprocity and show how they operate in our society. So we are going to look at the 3 types of reciprocity, and not the distributions and redistribution I've told you about, to the exchange. No, not this. The 3 types of reciprocity are called what? General reciprocity, balanced reciprocity, and a negative reciprocity. So let's look at reciprocity. So reciprocity is the concept in what in anthropology and sociology. It refers to the exchange of goods, services, or favors, which can vary in expectation and timing of return. In non-industrialized societies, the 3 types of what the 3 types of reciprocities are identified. So these are what the generalized, balance, and negative. So we have what we have to talk about them here. So let's look at the generalized reciprocity. So when we talk of the generalized reciprocity, this is the type of reciprocity which occurs when a person gives something to another one without expecting an immediate or specific return. The giver may not anticipate anything in return, or may expect a return at some unspecified future time. This form of exchange is common among close relatives and friends. Example in society. For example, in Ghanaian society, generalized reciprocity is often seen within families. For instance, parents provide for their children without expecting them to pay back immediately. The return might come much later in the form of care and support when the parents age. Another example is when community members contribute and community members contribute labor or resources to help a neighbor build a house or organize a funeral, expecting that the favor will be returned in the future or in similar situations. So these things normally happen when you go to someone's funeral. You are going because when your father or your mother also dies, the person also come. That's it. It is what we call the generalized reciprocity. I don't need to explain it this much. When you do something with the intention of what expecting the feedback in the future, not right now, not immediate, like the way your mother takes care. Wahwewa ma ɔseɛ tutu. There's a proverb that says that wahwewa ma ɔseɛ tutu. Nti wo so so yɛ den. Wahwewa ma ɔseɛ fifi. Nti wo so hwɛ no ɛma ne sin yɛ den ɛntutu. That is it. Let's move on to the next one. Balanced reciprocity. So balanced reciprocity involves a direct exchange where something is given with the expectation of a form of roughly equal value, either immediately or within a specific time frame. So the relationship is usually less immediate than those involving generalized reciprocity. Okay, so for example, in society, in balanced reciprocity is evident in the exchange of gifts during traditional festivals like weddings or funerals. For, for example, if a family contributes food or money to friend's wedding, they expect similar contribution when they host their event. Okay, failure to reciprocate can strain the relationship between the parties involved. So this kind of okay, so let me put it this way. The first explanation I gave, okay, take the funeral example I gave out, right? And let's only use the parents taking care of their children. Washo ama osia fifi, so I know ama onisia tutu. That is it. But with the balance is where you do something, okay, with a direct exchange where something is given with the expectation of return of a equally what roughly value, or either immediately or within an a specific time frame. Okay, so assuming you are celebrating your birthday right now, your own is this month. I give you gift. I'm expecting that my own also coming next month. You give me a gift. That's what we call what the balance. Okay, so it will come within a specific time frame. It's not long like a parent taking care of you for about 27 or 50 years, 40 years before you even start taking care of them. No, that's not how it is. This one day it should come in a specific time. Okay, like relationship between you and your relative. Okay, it is not a generalized, it is what it is balance. It is balance, what reciprocity. An example is what I gave: weddings and birthday parties. All these things are what are part. And let's look at the negative reciprocity occurs when an individual is conducted when exchange is conducted with the intention of benefiting oneself at the expense of the other. This type of exchange is more likely to happen between strangers or distant acquaintances, where there is little trust or more suspicion. Example: you going to Makola market to buy something and decide to pay mobile money. When you pay the mobile money, the person has to confirm, okay, Charlie, let me see the alert, right? Because they don't trust you the same way you two also don't trust them. So you make sure you pick the thing. You will check if it is shoe. You will check the what. You will check everything to see that it is what, not fake. Because in the negative reciprocity system, if you are not careful, there's kind of what vigilance, because you don't know the person. So when you go to the market and to buy something, it is what negative, because the things you are buying, you are being careful, and she's also being careful. So when after this one, baby, but if it is maybe my friend's friend, okay, and I'm buying something from my friend's friend, that I can say that one is a bit balanced, because my friend's friend, he can decide to scam me, but I can take the person on. Okay, maybe I can use my friend to track him or her. You get it? But going to the market where you don't know anybody and you play loose, when master be boo, so that is negative. Let's now look at number 4. Discuss 4 ways in which colonialism affected African traditional institutions negatively. So how does colonialism affected the African traditional institutions negatively? Okay, question like reciprocity, colonialism or imperialism or new colonialism. Okay, I'm not a prophet, but something is being dito here. So let's now proceed. It may not come in the way I set it, but expect question from colonialism, reciprocity. Okay, the reciprocity, redistribution, and there's a question likely going to come, either reciprocity, redistribution, or the market exchange. Expect some dito be from there. So let's move on. So let's look at the colonialism. Okay, the negative, how colonialism has affected African traditional institutions. Okay, so one, undermining the traditional religion. So colonialism led to the widespread imposition of Christianity, which was promoted as superior to African traditional religions. Missionaries encouraged Africans to abandon their indigenous beliefs, rituals, and practices. This resulted in decline in the decline in the influence and practice of traditional African religions, as many as what as many okay, so as many people were inverted into what into converted into Christianity and taught to view their ancestral spiritual practices as primitive or backward. So one thing is that one of the negative or one of the ways colonialism has affected African institutions, okay, our traditional institutions, that the white made us believe that we should drop what our religion, and it is not the best, so we should embrace Christianity and Islamic religion. That is one way that it has undermined us. Two, we have what exploitation of natural resources. So these people also didn't just access to abandon our religion, but they access to abandon our resource. They exploited our resources. African traditional institutions which manage and utilize natural resources sustainably were disrupted by colonial powers who exploited those resources for their own benefit. Previous resources like gold, diamonds, and other minerals were extracted and exported to Europe, depriving local communities their wealth and undermining their traditional and economic system. So they exploited our resources. The good in those times, they will ask you that they brought mirror in exchange for gold, right? Where our forefathers just go. When they see their face, they will be very happy. Then they will give gold in exchange of what? A mirror. And also they exchange gold for what we this one salt. These things now they are plenty. You see how our forefathers were being fooled by these colonial masters. Let's look at the next one. Number three, imposition of foreign language and culture. So three, the culturalists impose their language such as what? English, French, and Portuguese as official language, which eroded the use of indigenous languages in formal and educational settings. The imposition extended to the promotion of Western cultures, values, and norms, which gradually replaced or marginalized traditional African practices. So they impose English language on us as official language. When it comes to Africa, our African countries are either using French or English as their official languages. Okay, so that is also one of the ways. And then three, uh, disposition of disposition of land. So in many parts of Africa, colonial powers forcibly took fertile agricultural lands from local communities, particularly in the southern and eastern Africa. Disposition not only deprived Africans their land, but also disrupted the traditional land tenure system, which were based on communal ownership and stewardship. So that is what it. So they took the fertile land too from us. The fifth one is psychological impact and racism. So the colonial ideology that portrayed Africans as uncivilized and inferior had a profound psychological impact on African societies. This led to the loss of self-esteem and internalization of feelings of inferiority among Africans, which persisted even after the end of the colonial rule. The racial discrimination and mental oppression instilled during the colonialism continue to affect people uh, of African descent globally. Okay, so it affected us because of the psychological impact. Okay, if you are not speaking English, then you are not wealthy. If you are not portraying or living your life in the way we expect it, then you are uncivilized or you are uncouth. So this made us feel inferior to the whites and always try to be like them. You get it? And up to now, our girls are still dressing to be like the white. Our boys are dressing to be like the white. We have left our traditional values aside, and now we are exposing ourselves on social media for people to see that we are beautiful and whatever. Beauty lies within you. If you are beautiful, you are beautiful. It doesn't matter the things you wear. Somebody can wear dirty clothes or whatever and still be beautiful. The beauty lies in character and not the outwear. So if you want to be beautiful, then you have to portray good character. And that is the things that these white people have made you believe that when you dress white nice and you use pons and makeup, it is going to make you what you are beautiful or whatever. No, that is not it. So, and the fifth one is what? Disruption of social cohesion. So colonialism disrupted traditional social structures by what? By grouping diverse ethnic groups into single colonial states, leading to tensions and conflict that were previously non-existent. For example, in Ghana, various ethnic groups like the Ashanti, Fantis, and Eves, which had distinct identities and governance system, were forced into one political entity, leading to long-term social and political challenges. Now, when you go to the in Konya, there's still war happening there because of some of these things, okay? And it keeps on happening because of this colonialism. The seventh one is what? Dependence on what? Dependence, ethnic what? Economic dependence and unemployment. And under what? Under development. So colonialism what? Restructured African what? Economies to serve the interests of the European powers. So the traditional economies, which were often diverse and self-sufficient, were transformed into what? Monocultural economics, focus on what? Focus on the production of raw materials and export. This created economic dependency and stunted the development of diverse, self-reliant economies. So it created some form of what? Dependence, okay? Because we were self-sufficient, and these people what? They try to what? They try to just create some kind of way, export our raw materials, and also create some kind of what? So right now Africa is still underdeveloped, right? And there's a lot of what? Economic dependence. You go to IMF to take loans each and every year, and this is what the reason. This is one of them. And the last is cultural imperialism. So colonialism introduced and enriched Western cultural dominance, leading to erosion of African cultural identities. So traditional African education system, arts and governance structures were devalued and replaced by Western models, which were presented as superior. The cultural imperialism continues to influence African societies, where Western norms and values were often seen as more desirable and than the indigenous ones. So let's look at number 5. So number 5 says that what is ancestral worship? What is an ancestral worship? Okay, so ancestral worship is a religious practice where deceased ancestors are revered and handled through rituals and feelings. It is based on the belief that ancestors continue to influence the living and can provide protection, guidance, and blessings. Okay, so that's all about the ancestral worship, where the people that have died, like the Osei Tutu, Obri Eboas, the Togwe Dashis, the Yana, okay, all these people, Togwe Afedi and the rest, is it Togwe? No, Togwe Dashi, okay, that is it. We still see them as I mean, we reverend them and we see them that they can give us protection, guidance, and blessings. So let's look at 5A. In what three ways does the belief of ancestor what in ancestors serve as social control mechanisms in society? So one, moral guidance. So moral guidance, it serves as control mechanism because the belief in ancestors instill a sense of moral responsibility, as individuals are encouraged to behave in a way that would what? Honor their ancestors and avoid actions that will bring shame on and misfortune. So it serves as a control mechanism. It like control mechanism say like a amount it guides your life, okay, not to do certain things. But we are in our childhood we're made to believe that when even flout on some of these cultural values, okay, the ancestors will haunt you, okay. So it gives you some kind of moral guidance on things you should do. Days you should go to the rivers and days you shouldn't go to the rivers. Days you should go to farms and days you shouldn't go to farm. The next one is that conflict what? Resolution. So ancestral spirits are often what? Invoked in dispute resolution, where elders may appeal to their ancestors for guidance in making fair and justice decision, okay, and just decisions. So conflict resolutions to they call their ancestors to intervene in some of these things, especially when you are encroaching someone's land. You can call his ancestors to intervene. And some because we believe in it, sometimes some spirit also enters in and they hunt the person, okay, the one that maybe is encroaching. When I say you are encroaching, you are trying to steal my land. So my land maybe crosses Legon hospital, then you try to maybe move the barrier, or sorry, the boundary to the main road, as you think University of Ghana Hospital belongs to you. That is what encroachment. So they will call their ancestors to intervene, and some of these things also serve as control mechanism. The last one is social cohesion. So the ancestral worship reinforces social bond by uniting families and communities in collective rituals, promoting shared sense of what identity and continuity. So please, that is what social cohesion. So it reinforces what bond and uniting families and communities. Okay, so that is it. It promotes some kind of shared sense of what identity and continuity. Before I tackle this last question, I want to plead with you to vote for Lorinda as General Secretary coming 20 seats, all right? SRC General Elections. Please, she's my daughter. I'm the one who groomed her, and now she's contesting for University of Ghana main campus SRC election. So please vote for her for me, and I'll really appreciate. Let's look at number 6. Number 6, how has the course diversity of cultures enhanced your understanding of human society? So this place too is likely to drop. So I've given you 3 areas: colonialism, the reciprocity, redistribution, market exchange. Expect a question from that side, and this side too. Okay, even the horticulture, agriculture and horticulture, they may throw it either how do you call it, they can change them. Okay, so you should be able to know the features. So when you go, check all the features of the horticulture, and then check the features. We have even done the horticulture with you. You can check pastoralism and foraging. Okay, and they can ask you between maybe industrialization and foraging. So you should be able to know the two. Okay, either industrialization or foraging. So you should be able to know. Okay, I've given you the warning. So let's go and study them. So the course diversity of cultures, diversity of peoples and cultures often enhances what our understanding of. Let me read the question again. How has the diversity of what of people and cultures enhance your understanding of human society? So they are talking about the whole course from session 1 to session 12. How has it enhanced your understanding of human societies? Okay, so if you don't know anything, the one session 1 spoke about what? About the evolution of men. Okay, so you can talk about evolution of men and explain it from maybe agriculture, and then the societies, agricultural societies and other stuff. When you are done, the exchange, okay, that's also another point. When you talk of the exchange, the redistribution and other stuff, you also talk about them. You go to maybe colonialism, you talk about colonialism, imperialism or neo-colonialism, how it has helped you to understand societies. All right, so that is just by the way. So let's look at the first one: cultural differences and similarities. So students learn about the rich tapestry of cultural practices, beliefs and values across different societies, helping to appreciate both unique cultural identities and common human practices. 2, historical context. So the course might also delve in the course also delves into historical context that have shaped different cultures, providing insight into historical events, interactions that have influenced societal structures and norms. Historical context, you can talk about the foraging, how people, the evolution process, okay, the history behind it, okay, the historical context. You also talk about social structures and institutions, the social structures to religion. He spoke about religion here. He spoke about the families. Okay, so all these things are the social structure. So examining how different societies organize themselves, including family structures, educational systems, governance. Also helps to understand how these institutions affect individual and collective behavior. Also have for the globalization and cultural exchange. So it often includes the discussion on how globalization impact cultural exchange, leading to both cultural and blending, also what preservation of societies. And then the last one too, we talk about what cultural perspective. So the course also encourages critical thinking about issues like inadequacy, inequality, ethnocentrism, cultural appropriation, fostering deeper understanding of complexities within and between cultures. So that is all about the whole question. But you can also put it the way you understand it from maybe the sessions. You see, even spoke about environment, the environmental determinism. Okay, he spoke about environmental determinisms, the adaptive, environmental determinisms, and all those ones. Okay, these things are what these things are should. Okay, you can talk maybe about the environment. Okay, it helps you to understand the environment, the environmental determinisms. When people are in the river side, they behave. Okay, the way they build, the way they use their things are different from those that stays in the coastal area. Their lifestyle is different from those that stay in the rainforest, like the Afro region. The way they build, okay, they build is different from these places. The food they eat, the things, we can talk about so many things. So let me give you some short essay, then we go. Okay, so it's about the same question. So the course has broadened my understanding on human societies by highlighting the vast diversity of cultural practices, social organizations, belief systems across the world. It has shown how societies adapt to their environment through various economic, social, political, social and political strategies, and how these adaptations shape their worldview and interactions with others. Moreover, the course has also deepened my appreciation for the complexity of social institutions and the and the ways in which they have been influenced by historical, economic, and environmental factors. This knowledge is crucial for understanding the dynamics of modern societies, especially in the context of globalization and cultural exchange. So that is all. Please make sure you share this video to your friends, okay, or on other platforms if you really benefited from this video. God bless you and thank you. See you in the next video. We'll meet there.